Here you go, Dr. Fred DiDomenico with Elite Coaching. I'm here with Dr. Ben Lerner. Another privilege to be hanging out with you again. We've known each other a while. And we're here because Elite Coaching has a seminar coming up in Chicago, October 6th, 7th. And just real quick, the reason we have these seminars is I go through coaching calls and I listen to the challenges that people are having. We speak on stages all over, and I listen to the challenges of the audience, and I listen to the ambitions of the audience. And then we actually tailor the seminar around what challenges there are, how we want to advance the profession, and what the ambitions of the chiropractors, not only in our group, but are out there in the profession. So each seminar has a very specific theme. And this one is building a powerful, purpose-fueled practice. So when I look at that, and I look at the leaders out there, Dr. Ben, certainly you'd be one of the first people that I would think of because, you have a history of building massive, probably some of the most highest volume and purpose-driven practices in the profession over the last 20 some odd years. So I'm really excited to have you there, sit in the audience, and you're going to talk about creating a new patient avalanche. I know I'm doing all the talking, but just the words in the title alone give just a small hint of your mindset. So I'm fired up about it.
Yeah, me too. And, of course, I was at the last event you did here recently in Denver, and it was awesome. So like I said, the first time, I'm just excited to be there and be at the event. You've got a great group of people there. The chiropractors there are on fire. They're all about doing things with excellence, doing it big. So just a great room. And so I'm fired up just about that. Just to be as I always say, it's a great seminar when you don't want to just speak, you want to be in the audience.
Yeah, how cool is that?
Yeah. So and of course, I got a chance to hear you do a very unique type of coaching where you're teaching the doctors to be coaches, and I thought that was really powerful as well.
Yeah, well, it's just on that real quick, 10 words. Let's get back to your title. I think. One of the things is chiropractors have learned how to be leaders, but to learn how to coach people, man, when people come in for a reason, and the chiropractic principles, every patient should be a lifetime patient. But nobody's taught us we taught the principle, but they never taught us how to get into the heads of our patients to be able to tweak that, right? And then say, how do you make a person want to live their life differently in 10 minutes, so to speak?
Yeah, no, it's very powerful. And of course, when it comes to retention, I'm talking about new patients, but if you've just got a big, huge double garage door, back door, where people are funneling out just as quick as they're coming in, then you're like most chiropractic practices. So that retention side is so huge. I love talking about new patients, but our job is not to start people, it's to keep people. So I like the balance there. My thing is the avalanche. So often when I'm talking to chiropractors, I've coached thousands and thousands of chiropractors over the years. They're talking about, how do I get to 15 new patients a month or 20 or 30, just to kind of get to that number that it can sustain a practice versus the idea that you're trying to get everyone in. I'm there to get the community, the entire community to come to my practice. When you and I started, it was how do you get everyone in, not
right.
15, 20, 30. We're going to bring the whole town in. And so we talk about avalanche. It's the systems you set up. It's the processes you go through. Then it's also the mindset of I'm not just trying to create a little profit or get enough new patients to get by and sustain a little bit of growth. How do we create an avalanche where we are literally reaching out to all people?
Nice. Well, that gives just a brief glimpse of your mindset. One of the things that we talked about last time in Denver was you talk about exponential growth. It's not – we always say too, and I know you agree, you're not going to fulfill your purpose one new patient at a time. Like you got to get them 10 or 100 or more. It's like how can you put out? I think what you're going to go over is how you can put out effort and get massive return to make a bigger impact in your community.
Yeah, and you talk about purpose fueled. The purpose is to save lives. The world isn't looking for you to go out and just sort of get a little bit of a practice going. The world's looking for your help. The visual I take on is people are drowning and they don't want you to change their life. They want you to save their life.
Right.
And so when we talk about the avalanche, there's methods, it's a mindset, but there's methods. So we say there's online. So it's online, it's in the clinic and on ground. So online, how do you do the social media, the emailing, the Facebook ads? How do you set that up so you're reaching people in your community in a mass way? And again, not just a few people, but a lot of people. Secondly, in the clinic. So the clinic, we're going to go over how you're constantly promoting both the retention of the power of chiropractic for the patient. So we are creating retention, but that you create a culture of referrals. So you can count on the fact that one person is a multiplier. There's exponential growth because one is always equaling 4, 5, 10, or 100 if they're bringing you into the third piece, which is, on the ground. Just, how are we getting out into the community to do our talks, to do our screenings, to do the things that we can do to save the lives of the people that are drowning and get everyone in.
Well, and I know that you had a high volume practice and you taught a bunch. I always say in the first week, you want to turn 1 into 3, 1 into 5, 1 into 10. And just to get a glimpse of the mindset, we grew up at DE, man. We were like, we first came to DE, it's almost like we were children in chiropractic and we grew up fast knowing. But the thing was, chiropractic is a message for humanity. And so you're talking about, you're going to go through Facebook and online marketing where this reaches the whole globe. Like we're in the best time. When we went out, it really was community, and now it's the world. With things that you do, yeah, we're going to build it in the clinic, but you can literally pull people from all over the world that will fly into your practice.
Yeah, we do a lot online to promote my practice. So we promote our dinners, we promote our talks, we send out blogs and emails and post through social media every day. So we do a lot. And so we are getting a lot of people to come to my current practice now in mass, but we have probably another 12,000 people who are all over the globe that we communicate to every week to teach them about chiropractic. And so, again, that's the purpose-fueled practice. Your practice is a side effect of this big purpose to tell the world about chiropractic.
Well, that's really, such a huge mindset, because when you think global, community is easy. Like to think about, I have to build my practice. No, man, get the message out to the world, and practice building in your community is automatic.
There's that term, think globally, act locally. Right. I'm like, think globally, act globally. And in the community, like you said, the local gets easy. So when you're trying to bring 9 billion people chiropractic, how could you ever have a small local practice?
Well, and another mindset thing, and I just kind of prompt you a little bit because I know a bit about who you are. It's been like 25 or 30 years or something. So, it's, and I know you're in practice now. So you're not thinking, when you get a new patient, you're not thinking 1 into 3. When you see a person, what's your mantra mindset, so to speak, about referrals? Like, how many people are they responsible for bringing in? Definitely in the first week, in the first month, in the first phase of corrective care. Like what do you see?
Yeah, when you set up this avalanche we're talking about, so just that one person that you just talked about. So one person, first of all, online, I want to engage them in my social media because that's going to connect me to their hundreds, if not thousands, of their Facebook friends and other followers. So, that's hundreds of people I'm going to connect to. We have a process in our clinic. We do a dinner every month, sometimes twice a month, where we are expecting that person to give us a list of 25 names for those dinners. We also have it it's a policy, but it's something that, again, we'll talk about this at your events. It makes sense that we're going to check your whole family. And then part of every talk we do, and we've got them signed up coming to talks throughout the year, is having them put down the organizations they're a part of, their church, their business, their temple, their gym, whatever they're doing. How do we now go do this talk we just gave at your other connected organizations? So one person we're thinking really should end up being hundreds or thousands of new patients.
Well, this is exactly why I prompted that question, which is exactly why we will be so blessed to have you there, to have that mindset. And anybody listening to this, I know that when he said they expect immediately 25 referrals, that probably blew the majority of people's minds right there. So just to find out how to do that, would make the whole weekend worth it. Not to mention we have Dan Sullivan coming, Joe Borio is coming. The guy saw 700 a day, right? Actually had 1,000 people a day scheduled, and he only physically could see 700 by himself. So how's that, man? You can't get to 300 other people or whatever. We have Roberto Monaco, so world-class list. And just from this last 7 minutes or whatever it was, I'm just excited for what you're going to bring to expand everybody's consciousness.
Yeah, once again, it'll be great to be in the crowd there. And it is, you have to show up to an event like this. You hear about a guy seeing 700 a day. I mean, so I was only seeing 500 a day. You got to show up to a place like that with, your heart ripped open, ready for people to plant seeds, and, just be open to new and exciting ideas that, even though maybe right now to somebody listening, 300 or 400 a week seems good. And it is. But the reality is there are people doing that on a Monday morning. So I'm open and ready to learn.
Now that's another level. Cool, man. Well, if you got anything from this, which I'm sure you did, just Dr. Ben alone will be worth the time, not to mention all the other leaders and speakers are going to bring many gems. We just are committed, and our standard is we're not here to give you inspiration. We're here to create a transformation. And then inspiration is the product of transformation. That's why it's purpose fueled. So anyway, thank you, brother. Look forward to being there with you. And we'll eat some Italian food in Chicago.
I'm glad you invited a non-Italian. So I was glad to see Dr. Sullivan there. I'm not the only one without a vowel this time.
I got it. Yeah, that's funny. All right, pal. We'll see you in Chicago.
Awesome.
Thanks, man.